We've established it's atypical. We've established something is going on here, and it looks like it's a dementia. Okay, the question is, does the person living with that change notice? Well, it turns out about half of everybody living with the changes that come with dementia will have absolutely no awareness that they're living with the changes that come with dementia. If something is going on, they actually tend to think it's the situation, it's the other people. Well, this could happen to anybody. And that difference that they're experiencing is called the brain change of anosognosia. Fancy word for I don't realize I'm changing. I can't see that my abilities are shifting. I have no idea that I'm the one who's having problems, who's losing the capacity that I had in some areas. I think you're doing things. I think it's that stupid clicker. I think it's the people who do the one I'm talking about. And I have no idea that the change is my change. And it's not denial. This is not a brain issue that I'm not wanting to know. It's that I can't know because the part of my brain that allows me to know is part that's not working anymore. So for about half of everybody living with dementia, we have to let go of the idea that they're going to recognize they're living with dementia. We're going to know that there's brain change, but they're not going to be able to hold on to the idea that they're the one that's having the brain change. So guess who's going to have to be doing a lot of change and a lot of figuring out, how do I support someone who doesn't know they're changing? And that's really different. On the other half of the equation, however, 50% of people living with brain changes, they're actually the first ones to notice something's changing. And it turns out that about 3 out of 5 people will go, something's not right. Something is wrong here. I need to get somebody to look at this because I've never had this much trouble balancing a checkbook. How did I get lost? I mean, something is going on. I've never had this problem. I can't find when you try to say things, I can't, there's something wrong. And so I notice there's something going on with me. This isn't typical. And honestly, I want somebody to do something. I want to deal with this. I want to understand this. I want to appreciate this. And it can get to where I want you to take things over so I don't make mistakes. But often at first, I just need you to be aware that I'm experiencing this. And I don't want you to tell me it's okay, because it's not. I want you to acknowledge this is really hard and I hate it for you, but I'm here with you. I will stay with you. We will figure this out. We'll keep looking until we find some support that works well for you and me, because both of you are going to need support. Now, that leaves 2 out of 5. Now, these 2 folks are very aware that something's changing. But the greatest fear they have is that someone else will notice. I don't want anybody else to know. I am so afraid that they'll see me as incompetent. They'll try to take over. They'll try to boss me around. These tend to be people who've always been very independent, had a hard time asking for help. These are folks who like their independence, really worry about what other people might think of them. And one of the patterns we might notice when they can't pick up on how to get help is that they withdraw. They stop going, they stop leading, they stop wanting. They aren't going to have the family over anymore. They're not going to go lead that prayer group that they used to do. They aren't going to go to the book club because those people are stupid. But that's actually not what it's about. I'm too afraid that if I go, someone will notice. I start getting more and more alone and less willing to have help in my life. So in those moments, it's important for us to recognize if we push really hard, they're going to push back. If we offer the right sort of support, it may only be a little bit, just shift, just a little. We don't need to point out what they can't do. They actually do already recognize it. They're afraid somebody else will say something about it. So, how aware am I of my changes? Turns out it's really important that you figure out where I fit in the continuum and what kind of support you're going to offer me, because it is different.